The best way to dial down your sympathetic nervous system and dial up your parasympathetic nervous system is to just...
Yeah, straight A student, but I'm friends with the cool kids. Following the rules and the rubric. Freestyle on the bus.
What's up, everybody? My name is Dr. Zach Guiser with GT Performance, and today we're going through an entry into the Athlete Development Journal, where each week I help you develop speed, strength, power, health, and character through quick tips to help you train your mind, build your body, and fuel your soul. One quick note before we get started: everything in these podcasts, newsletters, website, wherever you're consuming this information is for educational purposes only and should not be taken as medical advice for you or your athlete. Consult directly with a healthcare professional. Let's start with your mind and talk about the ugliest trait known to mankind. So a few years ago, I was doing a career planning meeting with one of my interns. It went something like this. You know, man, my high school coach didn't help me with recruiting, so I didn't have the offers that I should have. Yeah, my advisor, he gave me bad advice about when I should take that class, so I got off track and I had to change my major. My bio professor, he didn't like me, so he gave me a bad grade, so I would have had to retake the class. My college coach, man, he was playing favorites, so I left the team. I had no choice but to stop the meeting and address the disease that was in the room. He had a serious case of victim mindset. You see, no one should be more in control of your recruiting process than you. No one should know more about what classes you need to take, when you need to take them, and what your academic future will look like than you. No professor is truly out with a vengeance to fail a single student. And if they really do exist, it's you who is responsible for turning on some charisma and making them like you. The same goes for your coach. I handed him the book Extreme Ownership and I implored him to read it. You are the leader of your own life. As the leader, you are fully responsible for all aspects of performance, whether successful or not. There are no excuses and there's no one else to blame. If you currently feel like the world is out to get you, I beg you, stop making excuses and start solving problems. To build your body, let's talk about the 5 things you can do to heal faster and better. Last week, we talked about the miraculous stuff that happens automatically inside your body after you get hurt. While the bulk of the healing process is taken care of without you thinking about it, you can set the stage to get better outcomes. Here's what you can do. Number 1, protect the injured site. Number 2, manage your pain. Number 3, manage swelling. Number 4, move often. Number 5, get parasympathetic. Let's run through those. Number 1, protect the injured site. This could alternatively be titled, Don't Do Something Stupid. Avoid falling down. Keep the area clean to prevent infections. Don't let people bump into you. So there aren't many situations that I think wearing a brace has a truly physical benefit, and that's probably a conversation for a different day. However, I do encourage wearing something in the early stages of injury just as a signal to the outside world to stay away and be careful around you. Number 2, manage pain. So pain exists for a reason. It's a helpful signal to help let us know when something's wrong and prevent us from trying to do something stupid too early in the healing process. However, too much pain can be just unnecessarily unpleasant. It could also prevent us from going through an appropriate amount of early movement. So, do what you need to do to keep your pain at a manageable level. Ice is a hot topic here, and yes, there's a pun intended. I wrote about it extensively previously, and so I can link to that in the show notes. But the short version is, icing to reduce pain isn't a big deal. It's not going to help you recover faster, but it's also not going to slow down your recovery either. If it feels good, go for it. Let it rip. Throw some ice on it. Pharmacological recommendations are outside of my scope, but there is a growing consensus to avoid anti-inflammatory medications the first 72 hours after an injury to prevent disrupting the inflammation benefits we talked about last week. So that includes NSAIDs, which are your aspirins, ibuprofen, naproxen, things of that nature. Some people suggest that acetaminophen is a suitable alternative. Again, pharmacological stuff is outside my scope as a physical therapist. I would just be citing the consensus literature at this point in time. The reason people would suggest that acetaminophen is a suitable alternative is that it is effective at relieving pain without interfering with the inflammatory process. So some other pain reduction modalities may include things like E-stim, which are your TENS units, light massage, compression. Just do things that make you feel a little bit better and take some of that pain away. Number 3, Manage swelling. Swelling serves a purpose. We talked about that in the inflammation section from last week. But again, too much swelling is a bad thing. If swelling gets out of control, it reduces range of motion and alters the ability for the muscle to contract. When you're active and moving around, the muscles do a great job of pumping the extra fluid around. When you're sedentary, however, all the swelling just pools in the area. So, I recommend you wear a compression sleeve or wrap during the school day. Wear it overnight while you sleep, and wear it any other time that you're just hanging out and doing nothing. So if you're sedentary, compress it. If you're up and moving around, you don't really need to compress it. Number 4, move often. This is where most people go wrong. Rest seems like the logical thing to do after an injury. But again, too much rest is a bad thing. Too much of anything is a bad thing. Too little of anything also seems to be a bad thing. The earlier you can load it in a tolerable range, the quicker the healing process is. So, if you sprained your ankle or pulled your hamstring, don't go crutching around all day every day. Put some load through it, walk on it. As a general rule, tolerate pain up to around a 4 or 5 out of 10, with 0 being no pain whatsoever and 10 being you'd rather them cut your leg off right now than feel this pain anymore. Walk around on it until it gets up in that 4 to 5 out of 10 range, then give it some time to rest and simmer down. Once it gets outside of that, then start walking again on it. Don't baby it too much. That's going to prolong it. Don't flare it up too much. Stay in that Goldilocks middle ground. Number 5, get parasympathetic. So you might not be able to control all those automatic processes that we talked about last week, but you can help your body dedicate more resources to them. Everything that happens inside your body that is not under your volitional control is part of your autonomic nervous system. Your autonomic nervous system has 2 subdivisions, sympathetic and parasympathetic. When you're stressed and active, you're tapped into your sympathetic nervous system. That's our fight and flight system. It dumps adrenaline into your blood, shuts down digestion, and ramps up your heart rate. That's great for running away from a lion or jumping absurdly high for a block on game day, but it's no bueno for healing after an injury. When you're relaxed and zen, you're tapped into your parasympathetic nervous system. That's our rest and digest system. It slows your heart rate and ramps up digestion. That's what we need if we're going to break down our food into the nutrients we need and deliver them to the injured area. The best way to dial down your sympathetic nervous system and dial up your parasympathetic nervous system is to just relax. Find something that you enjoy doing, turn your brain off, and let all the stress go. To fuel your soul, we're going to finish with one question to figure out the rest of your life. So we only get one shot at this thing called life, and I feel incredibly blessed to wake up every day and spend it doing something that I love. I wish that for more people. To figure out what that is for you, consider this question from Naval Ravikant. What feels like play to you, but looks like work to others? Let me run that back. What feels like play to you, but looks like work to others? It's a good sign if people are coming up to you and saying, I don't know how you spend so much time doing blank. That's so boring to me. That means you've likely identified an area of interest, passion, or natural giftedness that is specific to you. If you are genuinely interested in something, you'll pursue it longer and harder than other people. If you pursue it longer and harder than other people, you'll develop unique expertise. If you develop unique expertise, you can be paid to do work and solve problems that you're uniquely qualified to solve. For me, there were some early indicators of what I should be doing. I loved reading anatomy, biomechanics, and training textbooks. Like I would just sit there, crack open a textbook, and read it for hours. I always found myself pushing people to do more, which also makes me a pretty annoying friend and family member. But if I combine those two things, I found a career that I love. You might not have any answers to that question right now, but keep your ears perked over the next several weeks. You'll be surprised how some of your favorite things are quite nauseating to others. And that's a good thing. That wraps up this week's entry into the Athlete Development Journal. If you do not already subscribe to the newsletter version of this, please make sure you go to gtperformance.co/newsletter or gtperformancecenter.com/newsletter and subscribe there. This newsletter is completely free. This podcast is completely free. I spend many hours each week researching, writing, illustrating, recording, editing. The best way you can support it and allow it to continue is to share it with people you know. Just send them to gtperformance.co/newsletter and they can subscribe there, or send them a link on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or YouTube, wherever you listen to your podcasts, and tell them to like and subscribe or follow the show there. Until next week, go be great out there.
Straight A student, but I'm friends with the cool kids. Following the rules and the rubric. Freestyle on the bus and it's too